I'm going to pushing back the songwriting a little bit further. I want to talk about full-time music in the COVID era with you because this is something that kind of you did things a little bit differently than a lot of folks in COVID. So what was that like? Just going because we all found out exactly how essential we were or were not, right? So how do you deal with that? Like I'm a full-time musician now. I'm finding out I'm not quite as essential as I thought I was. So how do you continue to make a living during the pandemic?
Man, I was skipping across the water like a stone, just one tiny touchdown at a time, and a whole lot of praying. I honestly, uh, you believe what you want. There's nothing short of an explanation other than God, um, because there's there's so many people that stopped playing music, went and got a job, went and whatever. Um, I was just holding on for dear life, Boston. I don't know what to tell you other than that because it was no mountain for a climber. We put our boots on and just started going, man.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of people that came out of COVID appreciating it, I don't know about now, but coming out of COVID that appreciated going out and
Mm-hmm.
appreciated live music. It's a little bit different now than it was, of course, but times are constantly changing, and it's just part of it.
Has the content changed for you?
The content.
Meaning the writing, just the music.
Oh,
Has it changed at
sorry.
all because of the pandemic?
So you gotta excuse me. I was homeschooled. Sorry, mom. I love you, mom. But no, man, I just dove in head first. To be completely honest with you, and it was amazing to just have that time and those songs and those ideas and those feelings and everything that came with that every single person around you knew whether they were
Mm-hmm.
talking about it or not was experiencing and and
Well, it's funny. We all got shut down, right? And we're all in
yeah,
isolation, and that's kind of a good thing for songwriters. I mean, being isolated is not a bad thing. So now here we are. We're 4 years from the beginning, 4.5 years. It's crazy to think that it's been that long. Four and a
so
half
fast.
years since the beginning of the pandemic. And now, I mean, as music fans, we are really swimming in some good music now. And that
Yeah,
all came from isolation, right? Like and
yeah,
there's not a lot of joy in the music right now, I feel. There's really not. But that's what's making it so great, I feel.
yeah. I think there's more joy coming
There is. I agree.
because
Absolutely.
of because of the process
Yep.
and so, I know some people that can write a song, get it worked up, get it recorded, produced, mixed, and put it out in no time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, man, I'm not one of those people. Just because there's so many plates that are constantly spinning and juggling, and it's like, okay, do I have time? I got to ask my wife now. I'm like, what do I have this week that I'm missing? I know I'm missing something. What do I have? And she's like, well, you got this, 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 and this. All right, now I got to figure out when I've got time to. So I miss those days of just what do we got to do? I'll never forget it, man. As well as so many other people will probably never forget that phone call. I
Mm-hmm.
know everybody had at least one phone call that was like, "Well, you can just stay home for a little while."
Mm-hmm.
And it was a radio promoter, a booking agent, and a couple other people called me within about an hour. No, no exaggeration. Just back to back to back, and it was like, "You can
So
just pack it up."
that phone call for me, if you want to hear, was
Yes.
there's a place in Gladewater, Texas, called the Truman W. Smith Children's Center, and this is for medically fragile children. Most of them are
Okay.
nonverbal and things like that. And we had a music program there that was named after a radio DJ friend of mine that I started. It was called the Matt Gansel Music Outreach on Mondays. And so every Monday we would bring in a different artist to play for an hour for those children. Now you have to understand these children don't speak. They can't verbally tell you how they're feeling or whatever. But when you saw the music, their eyes would speak for them and they would move around and stuff. So that phone call for me was after 4 years of booking that every Monday with a different artist and literally never missed a week. They called me and told me they couldn't do it anymore because of COVID. And so this was in April of 2020. And then I was like, okay, this is for real. Because like the only time we ever missed a week was when they had an outbreak there of flu or something like that, and they didn't want to bring an artist in to exasperate that, so they told me no. But after 4 years, that was the only week we missed until COVID. And it wasn't until I think 2023 that they started the program back up. But it was like 3 years. But that was the call for me that let me know, this is not cool, and that's
Yeah.
when I knew things were going the wrong direction. But yeah, that was tough. That was tough not, doing that every week and then not doing it. It was so weird,
Yeah.
because that was part of my weekly thing, like find an artist.
That was your routine.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And when all that came to a halt, it was just like, I'm sure as so many other people as well, we all kind of sat at home for a week or two and thinking, okay, and then then it just kept going. But you figure out how to make it happen on those things that you want that bad.
Yep.
And man, we were blessed, one situation after another, and just like I said, like a stone skipping across the water, man. I was just trying to get to the other side at that point, and it was real. Try putting out a full-length album.
I can't imagine.
Right before pandemic, man.
Yeah.
I was ready for radio tour and
Mm-hmm.
radio cowboy. I was ready to go, and thankfully we had done a lot of radio tour, and I love Texas radio and beyond that play Texas music and artists across the country.
That's
and man,
crazy
I went,
how far it goes now. It really truly is.
It's amazing, and we have a gift down here because I don't mean to brag or anything, but there's not like Kansas country. It's just not a thing.
Nope.
Nebraska country hadn't really taken off yet. But
well, I mean, take the country out of it. How many other states are in the title of a genre? It's just not. It doesn't exist.
No.
It's not there. It's just not. I mean, you got like, New Orleans jazz maybe, but that's not a state.
Yeah.
Then you got Chicago blues. That's not a state. Memphis maybe. You got the Memphis blues scene, but you don't have Tennessee blues. And
No.
you don't have Louisiana jazz. It's more geographically tightened. Whereas red dirt music is it's Texas. It's Texas red dirt. Oklahoma red dirt, right? It's those two, in my opinion. You're right. It's not Kansas red dirt. That's for dang sure.
And that's that was thank goodness.
Sorry, Kansas.
I love Kansas. I just wrote with one of my best friends. He's from Kansas. But no, I think the whole process there and being thankful that I had hit stations across the country before that had all happened, and I was ready to go visit more. And I think we were still doing stuff out west and in West Texas as well. And I got that phone call, shut her down. You ain't going anywhere for at least 3 months. I can tell you that much right now.
Spend a lot of time with yourself after that too, don't you? Like, just a whole lot of time with yourself.
Oh, man, that's a dangerous place to be as well, especially if you're a songwriter. It's
we talked about that mental thing earlier, right? Like that imposter syndrome. You're not good enough. You shouldn't do this. Like you start getting wrapped up. Like I'll tell you what, man. A lot of my, talking crap about myself didn't start until COVID. Like, and I mean, I talk crap about myself all the time. So I get it.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Hey, there's a sign behind you, and I keep reading it, man, and I love that because you know what? At the end of the day,
that's why it's there, by the way.
You have to.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be your own champion, because everyone's got an opinion. It doesn't matter if it's what hat I wear, what shirts, to what I drive or what I play. Everybody's got an opinion, and the only thing
I think
you can
too
do
many
is,
people out there think that if they blow our candles out, it's going to make their own candle burn brighter, but that's not how it works.
they don't even realize that their candle's not even lit, man.
Right? Yep, that's right. That's so true.
So it's one of those things.